The challenge is, how do we get from here to there? And if I were to pick one policy, it would be one that would get the market to tell the environmental truth. When Sir Nicholas Stern, the former chief economist of the World Bank, produced a study for the British government, which asked the question, what will be the future costs of climate change? He began that study by pointing out that climate change is the result of a massive market failure. And what he meant was that our failure to incorporate in the price of fossil fuels the cost of climate change has led us to create an enormously costly situation for ourselves in the years ahead, and certainly for the next generation. The trick is to get the market to tell the environmental truth. And the way to do it, I think, is to lower income taxes and offset that with a rise in the carbon tax. Do it over the next dozen years in stages so everyone would know what was coming and could plan accordingly. No change in the amount of tax we pay. Reducing income taxes and offsetting it with a rise in carbon taxes. Some of you may remember a corporation called Enron. Phenomenally successful. It was on the cover of more business magazines in the late 1990s than any other corporation in the United States. At one point, it was the 7th most valuable corporation in the United States. Wall Street eagerly awaited the quarterly reports, the quarterly earnings reports, because they were always going up. I mean, it was just extraordinary. And then, beginning in late 2001, some outside accountants began looking at Enron's books. And what they discovered was that Enron had developed some rather ingenious techniques for leaving costs off the books. And when they finished the audit, they discovered that Enron was essentially worthless. Its shares that had been trading for a peak of $97 a share were suddenly trading for pennies per share. Enron was bankrupt. We are doing exactly what Enron did, but on a far larger scale in the world economy with our existing accounting system. And the risk is that, like Enron, we too will go bankrupt if we don't correct the situation. A Norwegian, Øystein Dale, D-A-H-L-E, I quote him in the last chapter of the book, back in the 90s, said, socialism collapsed because it did not allow the market to tell the economic truth. Capitalism may collapse because it does not allow the market to tell the environmental truth. And I think in those two short sentences, he said it very well. As I think I noted, we used to talk about saving the planet. The challenge now is to save civilization. Because if the number of failing states in the world keeps increasing, at some point, civilization itself will begin to unravel. This is our challenge. Saving civilization is not a spectator sport. It's going to require the participation of every one of us. And we're in a situation now where every day counts. We're in a race between tipping points, natural tipping points and political tipping points. Among the natural tipping points, when do we reach the point of no return in the melting of the Greenland ice sheet, for example? The challenge is to phase out coal-fired power plants fast enough to save the Greenland ice sheet. Can we arrest the deforestation in the Amazon before the Amazon rainforest is so weakened and it becomes vulnerable to natural fire? And then we won't be able to save it. I could go down through the list, but this is our challenge. And the challenge is for each of us to get involved politically. I don't mean just in the current primary campaigns or the presidential campaign this fall, but I mean beginning to work on important issues, like developing a comprehensive recycling program in our individual communities, or joining the national effort that's now underway, astonishingly successful, opposing the construction of new coal-fired power plants. Without going into detail, I would just say that it's quite possible that by the end of this year, we will have something approaching a de facto moratorium on building new coal plants in the United States. One of the big success stories, it's not yet well known. We've written about it on our website, earthpolicy.org, if you want to look at it. This is our challenge, to restructure the economy, whether it's the energy economy or the materials economy or the comprehensive reuse recycling economy. The old economy, the old economic model, the fossil fuel-based automobile-centered throwaway economy simply cannot take us where we want to go. It will not continue much longer because it is self-destructive. The challenge is to replace it with a renewable energy powered economy, one that has a much more diversified transport system, and one that reuses, an economy that reuses and recycles everything. This is our challenge. If you like challenges, this is a great time to be around. Thank you very much.